Okay, let's see. Are we actually going to have the video up now? Give it a few seconds. There we go. All right. So here we are with another Masters Universe Origins unboxing, and this is from the cartoon collection, King Randor, Heroic Ruler of Eternia. We only got two figures on the Kraussal artwork on the back, and the other one is Queen Marlena, who has not come out yet. At least I haven't gotten her yet. I do have her on pre-order from Big Bad Toy Store, so hopefully she'll be showing up soon. The Magic Falls, as seen on the Magic Falls. I guess that's where we see this funky looking scepter, which I don't really remember. But I guess he had it on this episode at least. Maybe he had it on some other episodes. I don't really remember. It says put scepter of power in his hand and pose in powerful battle positions. But the image here, obviously Marlena is pretty shocked, and Randor is not happy to see Cobra Khan in his court like he would be. So I'm guessing that we're towards the tail end of the Filmation figures. They've gotten most of the important characters out of the way at this point. I mean, there's certainly more characters that they could do, but it looks like they're moving on to the 2000X cartoon. We've seen a lot of I think some of those people have those in hand at this point, but I haven't seen them yet. So yeah, it looks like that's going to be the end of Blue Shadow the Hedgehog is here and says, "Hi, Alan." Well, hi right back at you. Good to see you. So I know the other day you were lamenting the fact that you missed the live stream for God, which one was it? I forget. But hey, you're here for this one, so that's good. So welcome. So yeah, let's go ahead and open this guy up. Now, personally, I prefer the look of the vintage action figure versus his cartoon design. So I was perfectly happy with the previous King Randor figure. But I know a lot of people like to have the cartoon accurate designs, and well, here he is right now. Blue Shadow the Hedgehog says, "Do you remember to reply to my comment? Because I really, 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 really miss your streams." Yeah, I replied to it. I sure did. But like I said, you're here for this one. I told you in that reply. I'm like, don't worry, there's more to come, and here we are. So it's all good. It's all good. So there we go. Get these weapons out of here. Now, he comes with a sword, and that's good. But unfortunately, it's this Tila sword. And like I'd mentioned when we were talking about the Necroconda, the Necroconda, the weapons that are made for the female characters' hands in this series don't fit with the male characters' hands so well. So and like I could see why they would use this sword, because I think oftentimes on the cartoon it is depicted as being just kind of like a generic sword for various characters. Usually Tila's the one using it, but we see other characters using it as well. And probably King Randor did use it on this episode. But like I said, it's just not going to fit in his hand very well. Particularly this one, because it's got this it's got the pommel on it, and you see, look at this. When I put the sword in his hand, it's actually bending up the sword handle. So that's not good. That's not what you want. You don't want the sword handle getting bent up like that. So this sword is not really that good of a choice to use with this figure. And looking at the head sculpt, I think the head sculpt's pretty decent and looks enough like the cartoon, but I kind of feel like the beard should be a little pointier. That's just me. I could be off base there. So there's a lot of new parts on this guy. I believe these upper arms are new with the poofy sleeves of his robe. The robe itself is a new piece. This torso I believe, is an entirely new piece. And this isn't like a rubber piece that fits over the torso like we see a lot of the times. This is just hard plastic. This is a brand new torso. And then he's got what I wish was a more pliable piece of plastic for the tunic underneath. It seems like it's a little stiff, and yeah, just whole thing just came apart there when I tried to move it. Why don't we leave that off for now, in fact? So let's go ahead and we'll just take the whole figure apart because his arms should pull off. It is really stiff, but they should come off. One of them came off. Oh, I felt a crack. Hopefully it's not anything too serious. Doesn't seem to be. Okay. And we'll go ahead and put them back together this way, so that way I can talk about the articulation unencumbered. And man, is the arm going to go back in there? There we go. Okay. That way we don't have to worry about the robe and everything getting in the way when we talked about the articulation. Yeah, it's supposed to come apart, but the arm joints are fairly stiff. They're not wanting to go back in all the way now. So, but they did a good job with his facial expression. Nice job with the hair. Nice job with the crown, even though it's a little thicker than it should be. But I think that's good for the figure because it's going to make it a little more sturdy. And then underneath the bottom part of the tunic, you can see he's just got plain orange to match his tights on the trunks. None of the belt or anything like that is painted in. So, and then he's got the little elf booties like Robin. So those are new pieces. The feet are new pieces. The shoulders, the upper arms are new pieces. The torso is a new piece. And then, of course, the robe and the lower part of the tunic. Is that a scuff that I put on there? Did his amulet get scuffed by me? And the amulet's just sculpted to the chest. And it comes with a comic book. So let's go ahead and have a look at this comic book. And here's the paper that tells us how he comes apart. It says courtship. So I'm guessing this is going to be a prequel. This is going to be like the origin of how King Randor met Queen Marlena. And we got Keldor / Skeletor looming over the background, and Marlena's ship crashing to Eternia in the background. The king and queen together in the middle. Prince Randor, I'm guessing, over here to the side. And Captain Marlena Glenn over to the other side. I always liked this backstory. So let's go ahead and have a look at the comic book. It's a beautiful day in the royal palace of Eternos. And Randor is hard at work at his desk with parchment and quill. And we see a knock on the door. A perfect one for Randor to finally sit down and work on his memoir. Father, may I have a word? Of course, son. Is everything all right? I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I could use your advice about love. And Randor's happy to hear this. Pride overcame Randor, for a successful father is one whom a child seeks counsel. You've come to the right place. Is there someone special you've set your heart to? And then he's thinking about Tila, but unfortunately his head is blocking the view of her butt. Because, as I've mentioned before, I feel like Tila has the best butt of any female character in animation. Yeah, I just don't know what to do about it. I care about this person so much that I'm afraid. Young prince, I've known countless men who would slay a dragon, defeat any demon, win any battle, but when it comes to love, the most vaunted prize of all, they were transformed into cowards. And then you see like a group of soldiers attacking this dragon and some demonic creatures there. And then we have a young, clean-shaven man-at-arms in the foreground. And it says, The best way to demonstrate lessons of the heart would be to tell you about how I won your mothers like a shooting star. She fell from the sky. Several guards and I took to our steeds to investigate, only to discover the strangest craft from another world. And you see Randor on a robot horse, and there's Marlena's ship crashed in the background, as seen on the Filmation episode, The Rainbow Warrior. From the ruins of the star-crossed vehicle was the greatest sight to behold. Where am I? Who are you? Come, we will bring you to our royal healer. All will be found out in due time. After a few days of recuperation, Marlena found herself in a new world. My, Eternia is beautiful beyond reckoning, yet something is missing. Why, you, of course. Randor, you are charming, but remember who I am, the greatest pilot of Earth. I crave adventure and exploration. The stars are my destination. I must live a life of purpose. So there she is in her astronaut spacesuit, and Randor sitting on the throne of Eternia. If the universe is what you seek, you've reached its center. Eternia, what could hold more purpose than being a just ruler at my side? Marlena spurs her horse, racing ahead. You speak as if you've fallen in love. Maybe I have. But we've only just met. And then we see Keldor. Indeed, you've only just arrived, and there's one suitor worthier of your hand. Keldor. Yeah, I got to do the Shatner. Come, milady. It's time you had a true warrior. Show you the realm, not some soft boy. Ew. No, thank you. I wasn't asking. And he goes and draws his sword, and then Keldor and Randor are dueling. No quarrel is older than the battle between brothers, except the contest to win a maiden's hand. Evil Lyn is not going to be happy about this. I'm just saying. Finally, the climax of battle of Victor. And it's Keldor. Keldor defeats Randor, knocks the sword out of his hand. He should have had a bigger sword. That's all I'm saying. So, you're beaten, boy, brother. She is mine. Not so fast. This maiden has a mind of her own, and a blade, too. And she comes up behind him with her knife. She's ready to cut him. Your brother is handsome, but has an evil heart. If you only knew. So this is not one of those situations where Keldor and Randor are having some kind of affection for each other, but, Keldor is just led astray, like seduced to the dark side or whatever. No, they're enemies, like right at the beginning. Days and nights passed. Randor no longer pressed his courtship as he listened, an act that moved Marlena's heart the most. Aw. Finally, he revealed a grand surprise. While we've been getting to know each other, I had our engineers repair your craft. You are free to go home. And then, you're truly a great man. I know you will be a finer king, with my help, of course. I no longer wish to return home, but to be here with you. See, the real home was the friends she found along the way. And that's how your mother and I became king and queen together. My son, courtship is but one aspect of a relationship. What sustains it is renewed effort every day. Patience, presence, and a sense of humor goes a long way. No matter the hurdle in matters of the heart, love is always the answer. Always. Thank you, Father. You've given me much to think about. Oh, there's more to it than what your father told you. If you want to learn a thing or two about love, ask the queen. She was listening the whole time. She knows more than you realize. Yeah, she knows that he's He-Man. So that was a pretty good comic. I enjoyed it fairly well. The whole idea of Keldor being a romantic rival for Marlena's affections versus Randor. That's a new one. But whatever. Fairly entertaining little comic. Blue Shadow the Hedgehog says, "Can you show me the comic books?" Yeah. See, it's that one. I've been showing it. So pretty much every time I open up one of these figures and it's got a new comic that I haven't read in it, I just go ahead and read it. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about his articulation. So Randor can look up about that far, look down about that far, tilt his head kind of from side to side, rotate the head all the way around. Of course, the arms rotate all the way around the shoulders at a little bit of an angle. Like I said, this one didn't want to go back in all the way. Screw it. I'm just going to put it back in later. And in fact, I'll just go ahead and pull this other arm out too. Might as well. And then he rotates all the way around at the waist. That joint doesn't want to go in all the way either. That might be why it came apart. Blue Shadow says, "Is there a pirate or king?" He's a king. It's King Randor. So, yar. But yeah, he's a king. See, look, crap. So, let's see. I don't know why this torso doesn't quite want to go in all the way. But that might be part of why it came apart when I was trying to get him to sit down earlier. There is this little knob here that's kind of stuck on the peg. That might be preventing it from clipping in all the way. So I just cut it off with my X-Acto knife, pop it right back on. And it does seem to go on a little bit better now. So that maybe that's part of the problem with these things. Maybe they just got kind of sloppy with it. I don't know. Well, whatever it is, I'll figure it out eventually. He can move his leg up about that far, and he can do the splits no problem. This is pretty typical Masters Universe Origins articulation we've come to be used to. Knee can bend in about that far, and then, of course, that rotates all the way around. He's got a boot cut, even though he doesn't have boots. So mid-calf cut rotates all the way around. Foot points down about that far. Foot points up about that far. And the foot rotates all the way around where the foot meets the ankle. The little booties don't seem to be hindering the articulation too much. So that's a good thing. All right, let me go ahead and put the bottom part of his tunic back on, his skirt piece, for lack of a better term. And the belt on there is kind of a slightly, even though the amulet, this is an odd choice. The amulet to me looks to be just like a plain yellow, but the belt looks to have like a little bit of metallic sort of sheen to it, and so do the wristbands. But the amulet doesn't seem to have that, which is an odd choice, a very odd choice. So I'm going to put the robe back on him, and then we'll put the arms back on him, and hopefully the arms will actually go back in properly. I don't know why these joints are so tight as far as popping them back in. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and talk about, still have the elbow articulation to talk about. I hadn't gotten around to that yet. So he's got a bend at the elbow, almost 45 degrees, and that rotates all the way around. And then his wrists rotate all the way around, and they have a horizontal hinge, which moves back and forth like so. So back and forth like that. So again, pretty typical Masters of the Universe Origins articulation on this guy. Nothing special to report. Nothing where the articulation is better or particularly lacking or anything like that. Now, obviously, when we get this guy all put together, then you do have some issues with the articulation as far as Blue Shadow the Hedgehog says, "Hey Alan, have you seen my new intro?" I have not seen it yet, so I'll have to watch it at some point. I'll try to watch it sometime soon. I'm probably going to take my nap after this episode. I just couldn't get back to sleep. which is why this is kind of an odd time. It's a little early for me to be doing an episode, or a little late for me to be doing an episode, depending on how you want to look at it. But he can hold his scepter. For some reason, I can't say that word. He can hold his scepter just fine, so that's cool. But honestly, like I kind of feel like a King Randor in this outfit. The main thing you would want him to do is sit on a throne, and I don't think he can sit on a throne very well, considering how he's got all this stuff hindering his articulation as far as sitting goes. Just kind of ironic, but whatever. But he's a nice looking figure. I'm pretty happy with how he turned out. And if you're somebody who's a big fan of the characters as they appear on the Filmation cartoon, if you really want on model characters that look like the animated series, then yeah, he worked out pretty well. And we got Queen Marlena on the way, so I'm looking forward to having that figure. So I've always been a big fan of hers because she's an astronaut. Astronauts are cool. So but that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I do have one more. I'd forgotten that I had it. I do have one more Masters of the Universe proper before we move on to yeah, I didn't call you that. I stopped myself, didn't I? I corrected myself. I'm pretty bad with names, and I get used to saying a certain name, it'll slip out. That's just how it is. So, but yeah, I corrected myself. But yeah, we got Sharella, which is a character from the Powers of Grayskull subline. That's a Mattel online exclusive. So we'll have her to open up on the next episode. So I got her, and then I got like a bunch of Turtles of Grayskull figures, which like I thought I was done with Turtles of Grayskull, but every time I get out, they pull me back in. So we got a few of those. Like I said, I figured I'd buy some of those if I found some for cheap, or just found some at all that I wanted. And I did find some for cheap. So, and some cool figures. So still haven't found that Merman yet. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get that Turtles of Grayskull Merman, which is unfortunate because to me that looks like the coolest figure in the whole line. So of course they made him impossible to find. Why would they not? So, but anyway, that's it for King Randor. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please make sure that you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about King Randor, both the figure and the character in general. And that's pretty much it for this episode. Please make sure you like and subscribe. YouTube likes it when I say like and subscribe, so I like to say like and subscribe. Leave a comment. I like it when you leave comments. And that's pretty much it. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.